this up. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Blown for Good, Scientology Exposed. I am joined here today live by my beautiful wife, Claire.
Hi everybody, good to see you here. Thank you for joining us.
We've got a different type of episode today, I guess. We've been doing a lot of these lives over the past few months, and a lot of people have been asking, what things that you didn't know about in the Sea Org, and then when you got out, you learned something about the real world, or you realized something that was happening there was a certain way. And you go first. What's something that you kind of realized after you left the Sea organization? Well, to start, if anybody's new here, we both grew up in Scientology.
Yep, I was born in.
Yeah, and my mom got in when I was like 6.
Yes.
So we only knew of the Scientology world because we were in it from when we were little.
Yes.
And then where I lived, well, probably where you were as well, it's very, very... there's a lot of pressure on young kids to join the Sea organization.
Right. Like it was totally normal for 12-year-olds, even younger, and especially teens, to be constantly pressured to sign a billion-year contract, which just stepping out from it for a moment with 3 teenagers now, or, one just graduated from being a teenager. So 2 teenagers having lived through 3 teenagers. That blows my mind now.
Yeah. I think that in the Sea organization, violence between Sea Org members is sort of normalized. And L. Ron Hubbard has a policy called knowledge reports. And in that policy, he said, if Joe is sticking people with pins, and you don't do anything about it, that's on you.
Yeah.
And if you do bring him in a back alley and teach him a lesson, then you will not. No one's going to be punished for that.
No, in fact, that's the right thing to do, to put ethics in on Joe for his misbehavior. That's totally normal and expected.
Yeah. And that's another thing that's really encouraged all the way from when I was in school at a Scientology school, the Delphi Academy in Los Angeles. You're encouraged to write reports on other members.
Yeah. Yeah. The snitch culture and the lack of trust and the lack of putting the organization first above literally everything. Family, friends, partners, relationships, that always comes first. And if you don't put it first, then there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, and then it kind of gets twisted when you're at the imp base, because if somebody comes into your area like David Miscavige and you're sitting on the computer writing a knowledge report, it's like, what are you doing? Like, it's daytime. You're supposed to be working right now. And so it kind of gets like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be writing up these reports. And then for me, after a while, I was just like, whatever. If somebody because sometimes it's used as a threat. Like, if you don't do this, or if you don't do, I'm going to write a KR on you, a knowledge report. And I mean, I got to the point at the end base where it's just like, whatever. No one's reading those. they can't even file them, much less read them.
You're like, have at it, have a party.
Yeah,
Go
there's
for it.
stacks and stacks of knowledge reports printed out in the what's called Department 3, the ethics department, and they're not reading them and they're not filing them. They're just getting printed off and then piled up in that place where there's all these files. Like basically every single person where we worked had a folder that was just for, there was their personnel folder, and it was just for, mainly for knowledge reports. And then if you got promoted, they'd stick a little promotion sheet in there that said you got promoted with everybody else. And then that was, what else would be in there?
In your ethics file?
Oh, ethics file. That's right. Not personnel file. In your ethics file, it's just KRs.
KRs from any ethics interviews, security checks, anytime you put on the meter and interrogated. There's a report about that. There's also your conditions. Copies of your conditions go in there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
There's a lot of things that go in there, pretty much everything. But I will say that, being that basically from 4, I was in the cadet organization, which is the child version of the Sea Org. So for me, knowledge reports was like earth-shattering, terrible things. And you were the one that was like, who gives a rat's ass?
Oh, yeah,
like,
no.
whatever. And I was like, oh my God, seriously, how can you be like this? And he's like, it's not a big deal. And I was like, it is a big deal. And you're like, no, it's not. And anyway.
I was one of those people that was like, if somebody said, write a KR on me, I was like, sure. That'll take you off the board for 2 hours while you write your KR, and I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. But so I think when we left that, people in the regular world aren't just ratting everybody out full time on anything they did that they didn't like. It's kind of like the KR is the Karen in Scientology.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, you're going to be a friggin' Karen and write a report on this? Like, whatever.
You know what I just thought? So in all the files that Mike Rinder gave to us, I came across a copy of a report that I wrote when I was in RTC on Marty Rathbun. Maybe we should do a deep dive on that one week. Break it down.
It's in his thing?
Yes.
Why would it be in his thing?
So it was in the files.
It was just in there?
Yeah. And I think it was something that they pulled out during the Anderson Cooper show, because I had reported that Marty was physically violent with some staff.
Oh.
And anyway, whatever.
Yeah, no, that's all good. We don't need to do that. So that's one thing. Just the amount of turmoil between group members. Mm-hmm. There was always somebody like that Department 3, the what is it? It's called the Department of Inspections and Reports.
Yes.
Heavy on the reports, light on the inspections.
No, they did lots of inspections.
No, they didn't. They did shit.
They did the white glove inspections of birthing every Sunday.
That's just like checking something. It's not really an inspection. But it's kind of, but that's also once a week, maybe, if they did it. There's years where they didn't do it for years at a time.
Yeah.
And then
and there were also years where we didn't even get those 2 hours to clean our room anyway. So why inspect it? Because it's just going to be like not clean.
I remember the best time was one time I had been restricted to the property and I couldn't go home. So I had to sleep under my desk or sleep in a closet or something like that every night for months and months and months. And I got a knowledge report written on me that I flunked birthing inspection. And I'm like, bitch, I haven't been to birthing in 6 months. What are you talking about?
But they weren't going to write it on me.
That's right.
Because I was in a higher organization than them. So they couldn't say, Mr. Headley didn't clean her room, which I probably didn't. I didn't go home either.
Yeah. That's another thing. All-nighters.
Oh my gosh, yes.
In the C organization,
yes, that's a good one.
all-nighters is a once a week, maybe 2 or 3 times a week thing. So you're working on something. David Miscavige he says he needs this done by this date. And if you're not like on track to finish by that date, you got to pull an all-nighter until you catch up or you think you're going to make it. And sometimes it's impossible. So you have to, maybe like basically by Sunday, people are like, we're not going to get this done by Thursday. And then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you just do all-nighters. And then you'll get it done. And usually it was a submission. It wasn't a product that needed to be produced. Mm-hmm. It was a proposal that needed to be produced. And then you'd get that to Dave, and then he'd sit on it for 2 or 3 weeks, and then he'd disapprove it anyway. And it was always like, then why did we do that? Why did we stay up for him to sit on it for 2 weeks? And then after 2 or 3 weeks or whenever, sometimes he didn't get to things for months. Like he'd say to somebody above you, hey, I better get that submission. And then everybody's like, oh, that's a COB order. You got to do that. And then, so then you'd get it to him. And then like 2 months later, we'd be in a meeting. And sometimes he would just say, I didn't get a chance to look at these, but based on all the other horrible submissions you guys have done in the last 3 months, I'm returning them all to you.
Yes. And
then now you have 4 submissions that you have to fix. And then it's another round of all-nighters.
Right. Yeah. And speaking of all-nighters, that is something where, first of all, who does all-nighters out here?
Well, there are people who will work an 80-hour week.
Yes.
But
then if somebody in the real world says, you know what, I got to take a break and go get some sleep, that's allowed and permitted.
Yeah, I think there's a difference where if you work 80 hours, a lot of times it's because you're investing in your company and you need to get things going, jumpstart things. Or if you're working at a company as a laborer, then you are getting paid you're getting paid double time for any hours.
At least time and a half.
Something. Yeah, something. If you worked 80 hours, you're going to get it at double time.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I'm not a 9 to 5 guy, but I'm not pulling all-nighters.
Right.
And also, I don't know that anything that most people are working on is a live or die thing that you need to stay up all night for.
Right.
There's not really, but in the Sea Org, everything is live or die. You have to get
and in
this
the
done.
Sea Org, if someone were to say, which happened rarely, I need to sleep, then that is immediately attacked as
worker oriented.
First dynamic oriented, and you're putting yourself first before the group, and you're off purpose, and you're other fish to fry. Anyway.
Sometimes those people that would just be like, I gotta go to sleep. I can't work without sleep. A lot of times if there was an all-nighter, it would just be like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah is just gonna go home. He's not gonna stay. And it just became a normal thing that those people weren't the diehards that would stay up all night.
But that was like very small percentage.
It was
2% of staff at the base would have the cojones to do that.
There was a gal that worked in the manufacturing department. Her name was Carolyn. Not the young girl, an older woman who worked in the product finishing area. Like I think her official post title was the shrink wrapping IC. She was in charge of Carolyn B. I'm not going to say her last name.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Anyway, and she was like the one person in the tapes or the cassette manufacturing section.
I remember now.
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about. I was like,
and
who
she
is
was
he
also
talking about?
Yeah.
I got the facial image. Everything came flooding in. Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
She was also our Karen of the department as well.
Oh, for sure. She was one of the Karens of that property, which is saying something because there was a lot of crazy nonsense there.
That woman could crank out some KRs. I think she was just cut and pasting them. She was just like, all this is like, these paragraphs, those are for anybody, anything. Those will work for it.
Yeah.
And then she just adds somebody's
You're right.
name at the top.
There were some people that really cherished and like really got into writing KRs. I wrote KRs, but I never enjoyed it. Shush.
She wrote one on me, and I had my bike taken, my motorcycle.
Yeah, because
taken.
you almost killed yourself in a bike accident. I was worried about you.
Yeah. Anyway, so when you get in the outside world, and then when somebody is up in your business for no good reason, you're like, hey, what's up with you? Like,
yes.
And I don't even know. I mean, I haven't run into any really aggressive Karens, I don't think. I've had some people, like when me and the kids were doing something near the park or something, like setting off rockets or something like that. And then somebody would come in and they'd be like, hey, do you think that that's wise to do right now? And I'll be like, they're fired. We're right next. We're literally in the backyard of the fire department, and we're fine. It's grass. It's not going to catch on fire. It's green grass sweetness. Anyway, but so reports, getting up in your business. Also, this is a crazy thing, and somebody in the comments mentioned this, but the police, it's kind of, Scientology kind of has a love-hate relationship with the police.
Yep.
And you can't call 911, or there's not really any way for you to get a hold of the police if you needed to. But at the same time, in some Scientology locations, there's so much nonsense going on at the Scientology facility that the police are kind of like, oh, great, here we go. We got to go deal with these guys, and somebody's protesting or somebody's doing this. And then in other places, over a multi-year period, Scientology will do what's called safe pointing. And they'll donate money to the local police department and whatever their youth programs are, or they'll hold an event for the police at their facilities for free. They'll donate the use of the facility. Golden Era Productions, we had a golf course that was owned by Golden Era Productions. It was the Golden Era Productions golf course. Yep. And so they would have fundraisers down there. And then even then, sometimes people would come to those that were, they wanted to like investigate Scientology or whatever. Erin Plum, is that her name?
Erin Plum Hodges.
Yeah, Erin Plum Hodges used to do that at Golden Era Productions.
Yep. In fact, she even sent us this whole photo album of all the events she'd crashed at Golden Era Productions. Yes. So much so that Erin even managed to get a copy of Karen Schless's book, which I believe is called Escaping Scientology, to Karen's ex-husband, Peter Schless, that still worked there.
Yeah.
Which was amazing. So, yeah, she sent us this whole detailed photo album.
I think she has a picture of either her giving it to him or leaving it on his keyboard. Like, he was playing the keyboards at the event.
Right.
She just went up and said, hey, I just want to make sure you got this.
Yes.
Okay, so the police thing.
Yes.
So the police, you're basically told you're not going to do anything with the police. But then at the end base, like I was on the night shift for years in the manufacturing department. And sometimes we'd walk past the security booth to go down to eat mid rats, or what's called midnight rations. Or even if we were walking down really early in the morning to go get breakfast, which was our dinner, we'd see the cops hanging out with the security guards, and the security guards would have gotten them donuts. And they're just sitting out there eating donuts with the highway patrol or the local sheriffs or the local PD or whatever it was. and you're just like, huh? You're like, what's
Yeah,
that all about?
right.
And then you go like, oh, I get it. When somebody tries to skedaddle and they call the police, or there's some kind of kerfluffle, then they already know this guy that's going to show up, and they're already buddy with him. And so he might kind of just be like, okay, take it easy. These guys have your best interests at hand. Why don't you hang with them and do whatever you want to do?
Yeah, I will say that Scientology never deferred to police authority, but they manipulated their goodwill.
Yes.
And that was very, very intentional. And also, I will say that after we escaped and during our lawsuit, actually the police officers who responded when you were run off the road were also depositioned in our lawsuits.
Yeah.
And it was shocking to me how much the police actually knew.
Oh, yeah.
And we're just they were actually the ones that were like, oh, yeah, sure, let us in. That way we at least get to lay eyes on. They were way less safe pointed than I had the impression of from when I was there.
Yeah, that was Riverside County Sheriff's Department was the ones that they didn't. There was always, I remember there was a guy on the Riverside County Board of Supervisors Board or something like that, and they didn't want him to get reelected. They wanted this other guy to get elected. And so they sort of campaigned for this guy. And because the other county supervisors knew there was nonsense going on at Scientology, and they weren't buying it. What else? I'm trying to think of all the other things. Oh, that people in the outside world are either drug addicts, prostitutes, criminals. Like, there's like 4 categories of everyone. Or they take psychiatric drugs.
And they all fall under Scientology's overall umbrella known as degraded beings.
Yeah. So you're basically told that when you're in Scientology, we're the most ethical group on the planet. And we're the ones, I think I said this on a podcast that we did, but in Scientology, they don't believe that they're Homo sapiens. They believe that they're Homo novus, which is above a regular person. And so everybody else outside is bad and not to be trusted and antisocial and all these other things. And I know I've said this before on past podcasts or past videos that we've done. I don't think I've met one single person in the real world that's as antisocial or mean or angry or hateful than you would meet every single day inside that property with that are only dedicated Scientologists.
Yep.
There's more hateful people there than I've ever run into by far in the real world. And I mean, I go all over the place. My company does work in, I think we're up to like 43 states that we've either traveled to or done work in or whatever. And they're just not that way. Nope. Most people that you run into are pretty chill and they're pretty helpful and they're pretty nice and people say hi and in the Sea Org there's none of that.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist. If you're like, how's it going? What's up? What are you working on? That's like, what's this guy got going on? He's got problems.
You reminded me of one example. So, like you said, in that world, in the Sea Org, people who were just hard to get along with were a dime a dozen. And granted, some of that was because they were under pressure too. Some of that was from lack of sleep and ethics conditions and all that. But so you've been to multiple states. I've worked through my bookkeeping company, all different kinds of people, all different kinds of industries and everything. And in, over, I don't know now, hundreds of clients, I've had one person that was just too much.
Yeah.
And
but even that, they weren't necessarily evil, and they weren't like hateful.
but
They're
like,
just a lot of work and a lot of drama.
And like, the services we provide are remote. So this person wanted me personally, not any one of the people that work for me, to go to their office while you were out of town on a job, while our kids were little. And I remember one day rushing back, just like besides myself, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be late to pick up my kids. And then I all of a sudden was like, wait a minute, why am I doing this? This is ridiculous. And I was just like, sorry, we're good. But like even that was such a novel concept. Like, I don't have to do this. There's no reason I have to keep driving myself crazy out. And it was incredibly triggering because of all those elements of like,
totally.
Anyway,
that's a good point too. If you're at the where we worked at the international headquarters of Scientology, the int base or the gold base or whatever it's called, many things. If you're working with one of these people, there's no way for you to not work with those people.
Yeah.
You're stuck.
Somebody once said, if you were looking for hell and found the hole, it would certainly serve. It's a twist of that
I know.
promotion video they did for the free wins.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, though. They say if you were looking for hell and wound up on earth, that's basically the L. Ron Hubbard quote.
Yes.
It would certainly serve.
Yes.
And it's just not that way. I mean, of course, there's probably areas where there are more violence or there's more, robberies or, stuff like that.
I mean,
but
sure, people have problems every day. There's
sure.
no doubt about that.
But in the Sea Org, that's happening.
Right.
I remember, and that's another Caroline, different Caroline, is that every Saturday night we were supposed to have what was called Source Night. And for a while, we had to dress up in uniform, or we had to do something.
We had to just dress up in nice civilian clothes.
I know, but for some reason, we had to dress in, maybe it was leading up to Sea Org Day or something like that. We had to wear our Class A uniforms.
Okay.
And there was
just basically the officer, like,
it's a jacket,
naval style uniform, either navy or white, with the bars and the lanyard.
I want to say it was when we were wearing blues. We had to wear blues.
Okay.
Winter blues. They had summer whites and winter blues.
AKA nylon blue.
Yeah, heavy jacket, pants. Anyway,
most people's were so old that it had the shine.
So nylon shine, baby. Nylon shine on those knees and the like above the knees where you might put your hands.
Yeah,
get a little nylon shine on those pants if you've had them for more than 5 or 6 years. It's the only pair you got. But we had some sort of event where we had to dress up, and a girl, she ripped a rank in a patch.
Yeah. So
it was a CPO. I remember.
Yep.
It was, or whatever it was.
No, that's what it was.
It was a CPO patch, a chief petty officer.
Yeah, which was 3 chevron symbols with the circle over the top.
Yeah. Anyway, talk about brain dead crime. If you're stealing a CPO patch, they've immediately narrowed the search down to the CPOs that have patches.
Right.
And I don't, she was in the qualifications division at that time, wasn't she? Was she in qual when that happened?
Yes, she was.
She was like a supervisor or something like that.
Yep.
And then when I say supervisor, I mean a course super. So she supervised.
The real world equivalent. Equivalent is a teacher.
Like a classroom teacher.
Yeah. The difference in Scientology is that they call it a supervisor because you're not expected nor even actually allowed to be teaching anyone L. Ron Hubbard's writings.
That's right.
Because that would involve interpretation
yeah.
and what they call verbal tech. And so you're supposed to just learn it straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
L. Ron Hubbard. That's why they don't call it teachers.
And what a nasty mouth that was, dude. The dude had like brown chiclets in there.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, and it was a huge deal. Mm-hmm. And to add
literally
insult,
every ethics department, that because there were 5 different organizations on that property, there were 5 different ethics departments.
Yeah, but she also stole it. She didn't know who she stole it from.
Okay.
And it was from an RTC staff member.
No, it was from a CMO.
Oh, CMO Int. Mm-hmm. Okay. I think
Wasn't it Samantha, somebody? I won't say their last name anyway, but that's what I remember.
I thought it was Lutzia.
No.
And she was in CMO Int, and then she went to RTC after.
No, it was Samantha.
Whoever she stole it from.
Samantha.
It basically sparked a base-wide investigation on what Sea Org member would steal another Sea Org member's insignia. And when she got caught, she was caught like within a day or two. It was like
it was like a few days.
Okay, it was within a week she got lit up.
Yeah, I mean,
it was
because
very quick.
There were like 20 people everyone was doing ethics interviews to figure out who did this.
Yeah, they were hunting.
It was like a really
down.
whodunit situation, and we're like, it's an insignia patch.
But also, who would do that? That's kind of like, what are you doing? We're supposed to be the best people, and you're stealing from another one of these people?
I get it.
But either way, she got made either the dishwasher or the cleaner. I think it was the dishwasher. She got made a dishwasher. And she was a dishwasher for years after that. And it took
like at least a decade.
Yeah, it took a very long time for her to convince everybody that she wasn't a total dirtbag.
And how did she do that? By becoming a complete dirtbag evil witch.
Yeah. Anyway, if you've read my book, you can find all about this gal. Mm-hmm. Blown for Good, Behind the Iron Curtain of Scientology.
Yes.
Available on Amazon, Kindle, paperback and hardback if you go to the blownforgood.com website. But either way, she was actually kind of factored into me actually leaving.
Yeah.
That same person.
Because she was your boss.
She's my direct senior.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, that's where she ended up when she got out of the dishwashing place. Mm-hmm. She kind of floated around to a few different jobs, and then she ended up in manufacturing as the manufacturing secretary, the head of the manufacturing division.
Yep.
But so even theft among Sea Org members was not uncommon. Mm-mm. And if you had something nice and you left it somewhere, it would disappear. And there were tons of people that stole from the canteen. That was always coming up, is that, hey, the canteen's making less income, but we're selling more stuff. Yeah. So what's up with that? How's that work?
Yeah, I had this really nice engraved gold locket that I had gotten for my 15th birthday, I think. Like, it opened up and it had pictures of my siblings and my mom in there. Not my stepdad, just my mom and my siblings. And when we would do laundry at night, it was, there were like maybe 4 washing machines for 200 staff, and you had from Saturday night until Sunday morning. Anyway, long story short, I left it sitting on the washing machine.
Gone forever. Yeah.
I was so sad.
That's actually my set response for anything that goes missing. Like if we lose, like, hey, what happened to this? And I'll be like, it's gone forever.
Which he knows drives me bonkers.
It's gone forever.
But never
gonna find it.
I've come to learn. It used to really, really annoy me. Now it only mildly annoys me because really, I go, well, he's setting an expectation that he's thinking he's never going to see it again.
That's right.
So if he does see it again,
then
right. That's a bonus.
We only go up. We only go up from here.
Yep.
And also the kids, sometimes they're just heartbroken over it, and I'm just like, it's gone. Just don't worry, we'll get another one, or we'll do this, or it's not a problem. Just worrying about it is not really that productive.
Right.
If you look for it and you find it, great. But otherwise, if it's still here, it'll turn up, and if it's not, we'll get another one.
Yep.
What else?
Okay, I have another one.
Oh, good.
So again, from 4 onwards, I was super, super scared of ever being declared a suppressive person. It was like, the worst possible outcome. Like almost so bad, like out of a horror movie, like that significant. It would be like earth-shattering, the end. And I remember when we first escaped, having the feeling, not thinking, just having the feeling that the most obvious thing about me was that I was a suppressive person. But then when they actually gave us our declares, it turns out it was one of the most liberating things that's ever happened, because no longer, I was like, well, my family's gone, so it's up from here. There's nothing else. They have nothing else on me. There's no other punishment they can inflict.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt worse than that. So whatever. The rest is, it can only get better from here.
Yeah, I think that might be the other thing that I was trying to articulate, is that when you're there, there's like a whole set of possible outcomes that are bad if you don't perform as a Sea Org member, and if you're not pulling all-nighters, and if you're not doing this, and if you're not getting your orders complied to, and all these other things. And it's just sort of like there's always this heavy weight of, you got to do this or this is going to happen. You got to do this or that's going to happen. It's always, and then you've got Sea Org Karens up in your business, and it's like it's the ultimate challenge to actually just work and get something done with everything else that's happening. And if you can still be a high producer and get work done, that's like a superpower in the Sea Org, because not everybody there can do that.
Right.
And so when you do get things done, even when people are writing knowledge reports on you and people are saying, oh, you guys have to come to muster, you guys can't keep skipping musters, and all these things that we would do on the shoot team. And I was just like, no, we have a job to do. We're not going to stop a whole operation and go over to a muster for 30 minutes and then come back and lose all our momentum. And now the talent have to get remade up and all these. It's just like, no, we're not doing that. And just by bucking the system, we got more done. And then it was and then we were celebrated that we were getting the amount of film shots in the can that L. Ron Hubbard dictated, 50 years ago. And then it was sort of like, oh, you don't have to do this. You don't have to play by these rules to be celebrated. You just have to get your job done. And so in the real world, I know there's challenges and there's things that come up, and there's maybe somebody that's not, it's not the most cohesive working operation between the different people that are involved. But it's not that big of a deal. I don't think I've ever really met anybody that's like, I'm here to destroy you.
No, and I think that the circumstances were exacerbated by the fact that there was no way out. At least it felt there was no way out. And physically, it was very, very hard to imagine any other life outside. That's the further in you get, the harder it is to imagine any life outside or beyond that.
Yeah.
So I think that just kind of added to the dynamics of it to make it that much more of hell on earth.
Yeah, I think that if you put a regular person just in that world, within a day or two, they'd be like, oh, forget this.
Yeah, I'm out.
This is ridiculous. But then if you take a person from that world and put them in the regular world, they would thrive.
Completely.
Because they're so governed by all the nonsense that as soon as you remove all that nonsense, it's like, oh, this person who could never get anything done is a great productive member of society now, and they do fine, and they have success and all that because they're used to all of these people pushing them down while they're trying to get something done.
Yeah.
And I think it's helpful in a way, but sometimes the trauma of living that life so long, sometimes it breaks people, and then they can't even operate in the real world because they're not only were they kind of hindered by all the nonsense, but they also never got or had a chance to make their own decisions and do all the things they needed to do to support themselves because they're getting all that, 3 hots and a cot, and everything is being taken care of by the organization, that they sort of become less self I don't know what you would call it, self-efficient or self-serving. They don't know how to support themselves, or they don't know how to do all those things because they never taught that. You just like, don't worry about any of that. We'll do that. The organization will do that part. And even the aspect of thinking for yourself is dismantled as an option. And that's where I think in a lot of the cult recovery books, it's really important to remember that when somebody joins a cult, they freeze at that age and stop maturing or, evolving beyond that until they manage to break free. And there's a lot of examples that ring true for me in relation to that. Yeah, that's wild. Okay, what else? What's another thing that... money. Oh, yeah. So when you're in the C organization, and I want to say a normal week is 100-hour week. Mm-hmm. That's a normal week. Yep. No all-nighters, just doing the standard Sea Org schedule. You're going to clock in about 100 hours in a week. Yeah. You're basically arriving for breakfast at 8. You have a muster at 8:30. And then most Sea Org members that start at 8 will end at either 10 or 11 at night, depending on what property you're at in the world. There's many Sea Org bases. There's probably like 6 or 7 different big Sea Org bases. And so when you go into the real world, you're doing a 100-hour week and you're getting paid $45. Actually, it was like $46.26, I think was. They never gave us the 26 cents. So it was always 2 20s, a 5, and a 1. In the early days. Paper clipped to the pay stub. In the early days, we used to get the 26 cents. Oh, aren't you lucky? But you're getting $46 for that 100 hours of work. Mm-hmm. And so you're not accumulating stuff in the Sea Org for the most part, unless you already had stuff that you came with. For the most part, that's going to, personal hygiene supplies and the occasional soda or snack or a Twix bar or, whatever. Cigarettes, if you cigarettes smoke. Coffee. And coffee. Yeah, most Sea Org members, it's cigarettes and coffee. That's those are the top of the budget. Those are the majority pie of the budget. I can remember when coffee and cigarettes were more important than actually anything else. Even more than an actual meal. I never really got into coffee when I was there. Yes, that's true. I did, though. So I never drank coffee, ever. Yeah. Never. Until when we went to the south of France on a vacation. Yeah, for our 25th anniversary, I think. At one of our school fundraisers, there was a trip to the south of France, and I had always wanted to go to the south of France, having grown up in England, and it was a super deal for this Airbnb right on a river in the dead center heart of France. And anyway, when we went there, we would go down each morning. Yeah, we would go down to the hotel that was just down the cliff. We were staying in a cliff. Yeah, and we don't speak French. So I would just say cafe, and it turns out that cafe is a shot of espresso, apparently. Yeah. Who knew? So anyway. So I would walk down there with you every morning, and we'd have a espresso. Yeah. And
mainly because I didn't know how to ask for anything else.
yeah. And then that was it.
Yeah.
I was a coffee drinker for the rest.
But it was so good. It was so good. Yeah.
Anyway, but back to the money thing. So you're doing all this work for a very tiny amount of money. Mm-hmm. And I actually did a thing one time where I was like, there's no way we should be getting $46 a week. And it was when I was in the executive division. And I was like, the policy was the pay policy was L. Ron Hubbard said Sea Org members should get like 20 shillings or 10 shillings or whatever it was when he wrote it in the late 1960s or early 70s or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you factor in inflation, we should be getting like $150 a week. Mm-hmm. These guys were getting 20 shillings in the 70s and we're getting less than 20 shillings now.
Yep.
Like buying power. And oh my God, did I get in trouble for suggesting.
Sure, that went over like a fart in church.
That suggesting that we should honor what the
You're so worker-oriented.
source said. We should honor that and adjust for inflation, you maniacs.
Yeah.
But then you go into the real world, and and that's kind of a crazy thing. Even if you have let's say you get out of the Sea Org and you have a place to stay with a friend or a family or whatever, and you end up working somewhere making $15 an hour, in 3 hours you will have made what you made.
I mean,
in the Sea Org in 3 hours. And so you're like, when you get into the real world, and this is kind of a crazy, crummy thing, which is some Sea Org members are kicked out of the Sea Org, mm-hmm. or some in some place are just so much drama and so much to deal with that they let them actually leave. They give them a security check, they make them sign a bunch of paperwork, and they say leave.
Yep.
And
not very common, but it has.
It's not
happened.
very common,
Yep.
But then if they do end up with their family or whatever, and they end up getting a job, it's very easy for them to see that they can live in the real world.
Yeah.
Have a job, and then and eventually be able to save up, and then be able to support themselves. And then you're like, why did I do that? Like, why did I stay there?
Right.
And so that's the biggest thing. I want to say almost everything that we were taught in the Sea Org, I'd say 99% of what you learn and what you practice in the Sea Org, it does not transfer to the real world.
No.
And it doesn't transfer in a good way.
No,
So
exactly.
The people aren't evil. Not everybody's a drug addict and a bum and a thief and all this. And then when you see how nice people are and how easy it is to work at a job and just be left alone, mm-hmm. then you go like, oh my gosh, these guys are something else.
Yeah.
And
I had thought it would be hard to find joy in life after living the hell that we lived. It's not that not in a bad way, it's just that we had lived through hell. But even like the first job that I applied for and got was as a waitress at a pizza restaurant. And we've told the story about how I forgot to ask how much.
Yeah, when you got the job, you didn't even ask them how much the hourly wage was.
Yeah, well, it turns out it was $2.15 an hour plus tips.
Yeah.
And some days I would work 6-hour shifts, and it would alternate between a 6-hour shift and a 4-hour shift. And even that was like, I would come home having made $200-300 in tips, and I was just. It was mind-boggling.
Yeah, we both couldn't believe it.
Yeah. It was
even one day when somebody had like a really cheap lunch and they left $100 and you were trying to give them the change, you're like, oh, no, that's for you.
Yeah, it was these two guys having pizza and a beer at lunch on a Friday, and they gave me $100 bill to pay for a $40 or $30 lunch. So I brought them the change, and they're like, no, that's for you. And I was like, sir, I just want to make sure you know that you gave me $100 bill. Because
Yeah.
I was like, he was like, well, you don't have to have that much of a tip if you don't want it. I'm like, no, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
I know. That's how oblivious we were.
Yeah.
When people were trying to give us money, we wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
I remember when we first started my company and we were doing some work and we were doing whatever we could get when we first started. And then we got this job that was like, oh my gosh, this is a giant job.
Yeah.
And I remember the start payment for the job was like $40,000. And we got a check for $40,000. And I was just like, oh, this is the most amount of money that I've ever seen.
Yeah. And granted, obviously you're going to have to buy a lot of equipment and so
Sure.
on and so forth. But still, it was like, wow. Just orders of magnitude was massively out of warp.
Totally.
Yeah. And the idea, I remember having a fear, like I had always been on internal jobs. So I did not feel that I had, it's not even that I felt like you had transferable skills, hands down, falling off a log. There were things in the real world that you had actual skills to do.
Yeah. Like I worked in manufacturing.
Right.
I worked in film production. I worked in video production, post-production, pre-production. And I was there in most of those positions long enough to get your 10,000 hours. That's
Yes.
the other thing. If you're working 100 hours a week, you're cracking 5,000 hours every year on your
so
job.
explain what you're talking about for anyone who hasn't heard you explain that concept.
Oh, well, I think the guy's name is Malcolm Gladwell. And he says, if you spend 10,000 hours doing something, most people at that point will be an expert in that. You'll be an expert in that line of work. If you work on it for 10,000 hours, in 10,000 hours, you find out all the wrong ways to do it. And you find out most of the right ways to do it. And then it just sort of becomes second nature to you of how these things work. So I had that for manufacturing, film production, video production, post-production, pre-production, all those different things.
Yeah.
And including audiovisual systems.
Yes.
So when I left, it was sort of like, well, I can do stuff with computers. I can do stuff in the film industry, in the video production industry. I could do all those things.
Yep.
Well enough that I could get a decent job. I think the first job, I don't know how much I got when I was working at that post-production company. I don't remember how much my hourly wage was.
I think it was like $45 an hour.
Yeah, and that was in, the mid 2000s, right?
Yeah.
2006.
Yeah.
So 2005, 2006. But yeah, it was enough. Yeah, you're right. I think it was that because in 1 hour I was making what I made in a whole week in
Right.
1 hour.
Right.
And I was only working a 40-hour week. There was a few times I had to stay late. Maybe once I had to kind of stay up till like 11 doing something at the place I worked.
Yeah.
But so yeah, if you have somebody who was only on the internal, where you only did Scientology related jobs,
Right.
which is really the only thing it really translates to the real world is like a secretary or some sort of administrator where you're basically
and even that's a stretch because like it's not like I had any kind of computer skills.
Yeah, but you could
worth
type.
much of anything.
You could
Yeah,
type.
I knew how to type because I taught myself how to type.
Yeah, so there were certain
But that
things.
was about it.
Yeah, but there were certain things that you could do. But yeah, that is a rough one. If you only did internal Scientology jobs, we were at a unique place where at Golden Era Productions, I want to say probably at least 60 to 70% of that organization are doing real world jobs just inside Scientology.
Right.
So you're either doing internal book design, outside, packaging design, manufacturing, film production, video production, translations, all these,
Proofreading, yeah.
proofreading.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of people where those skills, they not only transfer, but because some of those people, that's all they did for a decade or more. So those people, when you pluck them out of Scientology and you put them in the real world, they're like a superstar. They can pretty much do whatever that job is, up, down, and all over the place perfectly, no problems, with ease.
Yeah.
Just not even a struggle for them.
Yeah. And before I forget, I wanted to add one thing. Because I know originally, like, so even though I didn't think I had transferable skills, I very quickly learned new skills and found that, it's a piece of cake to learn new things and falling off a log. And I attributed that to work ethic. Mm-hmm. But then one of our very good friends, who is also a former Scientologist, one day we were chatting with him and he's like, so do you assign that capacity to work hard and learn new things and, really make a go of it, and now you've started a business and da-da-da-da. Do you assign that to work ethic, or do you assign that to the catalyst of leaving and the necessity thereafter to build a life from absolutely nothing? I mean, what we had, by the time I made it to you, we maybe had $17. I had $17 in my pocket left.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot, no matter what it was. I mean,
nobody. We had no car. We had no phones. We had no clothes.
That's the other thing. It's because you don't really have any stuff when you're in the Sea Org, or very little stuff. And you're not paying for much of anything, except for if you want some snacks or if you want to buy something, then you got to save up to buy that. But then you get in the real world and you take a plane flight and you have a meal, and it's like, I had $400 yesterday, and now I have none hundred.
You quickly learn that what you thought was making a lot of money does not go very far, and that to get to where, like, our peers, we were in our 30s.
Yeah.
Most people in their 30s maybe had one or two kids by then. They had a mortgage. They had a car or multiple cars. They had a job with retirement and, all this other stuff. Not everybody, obviously, by that age, but like your
Most.
Cousins were well ahead of where we were.
Yeah. And I think that is another thing that I was going to say is when we left, you'd think, because you've been sort of brainwashed to believe that everybody in the outside world's bad, that those people aren't going to be a resource for you. And then as soon as we left and we started hooking up with some of my extended family who had nothing ever to do with Scientology.
Yep.
And we learned a lot from them.
We did.
In terms of how to do things. And we would say, we're going to do this. They go, don't do that. That's not a good idea.
Yeah.
They would say, no, don't do that. You should do this maybe, or do that. But you're going to lose money if you do it that way, or whatever it was. And they also sort of served as an example of, this is our house, and these are our cars, and we have this many kids, and this is what the rooms look like. And, and you're like, holy moly, how am I this is a lot.
Yeah.
This is, okay. You could see, like, okay, I can dig it. If that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do.
Yep, absolutely.
I think that's good. I think those are good points.
Yep,
I think
those are good. We're hit an hour, so we can take a few questions.
What?
And do a giveaway.
Well, I wanted to say we'll do a giveaway at the very end of the video.
Yes.
Which is right now, right?
Well, we're going to do a few questions.
Oh.
But before I forget, too, next Sunday, we will be doing an hour later than our regular scheduled programming. We will have a special guest, and we will be doing Sea Org Day edition, because Sea Org Day is August 11th coming up here.
Okay, so we're going to do a Sea Org Day video?
Edition, with photos and all kinds, some goodies.
This will be great.
Yes.
Okay, good. And then, so you want to do some questions?
Yes, I saw a few good questions.
Okay.
We always get good questions.
I saw the one about the this one right here. Is this about the police?
Okay, Sandy. Oh, yeah, no, I put that up while we were talking about that one.
Oh, okay, good.
Yes,
Perfect.
Thank you for the comment question, Sandy. I appreciate it. No, hold on. You want me to find it? There was a bunch.
I'm just putting them up.
Okay.
They're starred. I'm doing them.
Akron, Ohio here. Just love this channel. Funny, informative, and unlike so many others in this space, classy. Thank you. Appreciate it, Bucky Grandma.
Awesome.
Thank you for being here. Here, I'll find the question I was thinking of.
Okay.
There's a few.
I'm just going to put some of these
Okay. Trevenon, good evening from the Netherlands. Hi from Albuquerque. Hi, Mary Kay. Hello for everyone from Montana.
I figure if I put these up, we'll get rid of all the ones that are there, and then you'll find your other one.
Hi from Oak Park, Illinois. Hello from Long Beach, California. Mark's just being stubborn now.
I like that. It's wild to me that there's so many people watching from
Checking in from steamy southern Utah. I love it. We so appreciate you all being here. Tracy, howdy from Wyoming. Greetings from North Carolina. Betsy Sue, good to see you. Hello from New York City, Pull-to-Bone. Hi, y'all, from Charleston, South Carolina. Hello from Minnesota. Greetings from Ann Arbor. Hello, Marc and Claire. XJW Vernon. Hi, you guys. Jerry. Hello.
Ooh, look at this guy.
Hello from an airplane.
Bonanza.
Wow.
That's
Boom.
the first.
Fly safe.
Yeah, that's the first time we've had somebody watching live on a plane. Good old Starlink.
I wonder if that's from Starlink. Yeah.
100%.
That's awesome. Amy says that boundaries are okay. Oh, yeah. Things that you learned afterwards. 100%. Yeah. Like, I used to get very, very emotional and worked up over things and like having to being like all like, I'd be like, who cares?
Yeah.
Hello from Nova Scotia. Nice.
That's the other thing I do want to say. In Scientology, whatever you're thinking, that can be, there's thought crimes in Scientology.
Exactly.
And so Sea Org members, they assign significances to things they do, things they think. And when you get into the real world, no one gives a shit about any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And the people that do are not worth hanging out with. If it's like, oh, you were thinking that or this or, it's just like most people are doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And they don't even care about you.
Yeah.
And
I remember a conversation we had where I was like, are you mad at me? And you're like, why would you even ask me that? I'm like, I don't know. I thought you were mad at me. And you were like, I hate to break it to you, but if I'm mad at you, you're going to be the first person to hear about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, good. Then just scratch it off my list. I'll get rid of that. That's just a bad habit to think that, oh, I must have done something wrong. Oh, he looked at me funny.
Yeah.
Like
it's one of those things where you're spending so much energy, time and energy.
Yeah.
Just with useless nonsense.
Yeah.
Even in that world, when somebody is being a Karen, it's just like, just ignore them. There's not even, it's a waste of a second to even think about whatever they're up to and that they're talking trash about you or what. You're just like, whatever. I don't need that in my life. That's my overriding thing is, does this contribute to what I'm trying to do or does it take away? If it takes away, it's out. That's like, me, I have a no nonsense policy.
You sure do.
I don't want to know about nonsense. I don't want to hear about nonsense. If there's nonsense afoot, it's okay.
Guess what,
I don't
guys?
need to know about it.
Guess how many times a week Mark and I talk about Scientology? Right here, right now,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah, I don't. Well, that's not actually true. I will have to say this. Did you put this up?
I did. This is what we're doing next when you're done talking. I just put it up so I wouldn't lose it.
Okay, good. We'll leave it there.
Yep.
We did a podcast. We did a video or a podcast or whatever you want to call it with this guy named Julian Dory in New York, New Jersey.
Yep.
And
Hoboken, New Jersey.
yeah, and I had from the night of someone in my life from the early 1980s reached out. Mm-hmm. And he was a friend of a friend. And I mean, we knew each other when we were kids. and he had spent his whole life in law enforcement. And I guess he happened to see that. It came up in his feed or whatever. And he called me, and we were trading stories and trying to kind of piece some things together. And it was sort of like, it was weird because he never stayed in Scientology. His mom was a Scientologist, just like my mom was a Scientologist. And we were kind of just Scientology kids. But this is way before the Sea Org and all that other stuff. And it was interesting to get his kind of take on what was going on, and that he had spent his whole life not in Scientology. Yep. It's not part of his life. It's not something him and his family talk about. Nothing. Yeah. But it was just interesting to see how people are finding out about what we're doing,
yes,
or what we're up to. And this week, we actually hit 1 million downloads on our podcast, which is kind of a big deal.
Thank you to everybody who contributed to that. I mean, it's
if you're
awesome.
If you're not signed up for the podcast, you can do it on any Apple device. You can just go to podcasts and you just search Blown for Good. And you can do it anywhere that
wherever you get your podcasts.
Spotify, Apple, wherever you get podcasts, you can get our podcast. But and then that you can listen in the car. That's what a lot of people, I think, are doing. They listen in the car during their commute.
Yeah, that's when I listen to podcasts. I listen to
during your commute.
Well, no. During I work from home. Everybody. That's why he's being snarky over here.
Her commute from upstairs to downstairs.
No, when I'm driving back from dropping the kids off at school or football or from the grocery store or from running errands, whatever. That's where I listen. That's where I get my podcasts.
Awesome.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, Code Monkey, thank you for this. What did you fear most about the outside when in? For me, I did fear losing my family and everyone I'd ever known.
But that's not the outside.
No, what did I fear most about the outside when I was in is that if I left, I would never see my family again. And that was just a baked in fact. It wasn't a question. It was never a vague fear. It was a definitive, that will be the end.
Yeah, see, for me, that was a little bit different because my mom used to bounce me off the walls when I was a kid. So for me, instead of talking to her or seeing her, maybe once every 4 or 5 years, I was going to see her once every never. And to me, that was sort of like, I don't know. It doesn't sound like a bad proposition to me. Of course, it's sad in a way, but the other thing is I know she's so dedicated to that world. There's not anything that I'm going to do that's going to change her mind.
Yep.
And she has sort of justified her whole existence as a loyal Scientologist that I kind of knew there's no way I can fix this if I'm not doing Scientology.
Yeah.
And I realized that would probably be the same with you as well. There's no way you're going to fix it to be able to talk to them once we leave. And even when we were talking, when you were still at the base and I was talking to you on the phone, I was very clear, hey, I'm living it up right now. I've been out for a week and this is a great situation out here in the real world.
Yeah.
But I told you, if you come, you're never going to see them again. It's not ever going to happen. It's done. But it's weird to me though now because we hang out with people and we hear all the sorts of drama and nonsense that's going on in relation to in-laws, and we don't have any of that.
We don't,
because we have no real in-laws that are in touch with us, and so.
We have our family of choice, and we've talked with our kids about that too. It sucks that,
they're not missing anybody.
They're not. And
they have family, enough people.
Originally I was upset about that. Oh my gosh, because I remember thinking that it was my fault that I lost my dad when I was 3. And, anyway, so I just never wanted any of that for our kids. But I also realize now our family have made themselves strangers. Our kids have no idea who they are.
Yeah.
And so our kids are not missing out. We have surrounded our kids with people who
Tons.
love them unconditionally, our family of choice, your extended family, my extended family, who none of whom ever were in Scientology. And we've just explained, like, my mom, your mom are in a dangerous organization, and hopefully one day they get out, but until they do, it's not like they are strangers to them.
Yeah. And the other thing about that is that if for some reason when we left and Scientology didn't just start immediately attacking us and spreading lies and nonsense about us, if they hadn't done that and we were still allowed to have contact with our family members would be trying to get us and the kids into Scientology, back into Scientology. So it's sort of like
trying to get us to give them money for our freeloader bill and all this other stuff. Is like, dude, we just got out of a cult for 30 years. We have things we have to focus on in order to survive. Like, if we want a family, we can't be waiting around. If we want to, build up something meaningful, we have to spend every waking moment working hard, not giving money to useless nonsense.
Totally.
Here, there's one other one here. Chelsea Rama says, did Scientology give you a sense of purpose and certainty? And if so, do you ever miss that? And if so, how have you moved through those feelings? So, because for me, anyway, the way I'd answer this is because I was born into it, there was always just the expectation that was supposed to be my life for the rest of time. And it was very much the now we're supposed to. So when we escaped, and it was definitely very disorienting, losing all that structure and every piece of life that was as I knew it was supposed to be in that isolated world. But it's also like coming out of the bubble and going, well, let's figure things out, pick up the pieces, all of that. That's my answer to that.
Okay. Here's another. Looks like
we did that one.
Okay, we got another one.
We have another one, yeah.
This one.
Thanks for another great live. You two are the best, and I can't wait for Claire's book. Yes, thank you so much. I'm so excited. I am 90,000 words now. Now I've gone overboard. So now the editor is helping me, or my book doctor, I should say. But coming up soon on my Substack, which we'll link to in our end slides, very soon I will be announcing my book cover and my book title. I've held off for so long because, and we did this with your book too, Scientology is
smart.
Infamous. We have to be super, super careful.
Yeah.
So I literally pre-registered a copy of my book with the U.S. Copyright Office, and I finally just got the letter back. So
nice. So you have an ISBN.
I have an ISBN. I have my title. I have a draft book cover. So I will be posting that very soon on my Substack. My current goal is to have the release date be January 24th,
okay,
2027,
now you have a date.
Which is the 21st anniversary of my escape, and also the anniversary of L. Ron Hubbard's death, which is just so
great. 2 great days.
Anyway, so wish me luck. It's been really stressing me out to have to add this into already a full-time job, already kids and work and all that, but I'm gonna make it happen. At least now I have too many words, not enough.
You also need to finish the book so that you can record the book.
I know.
As an Audible for
Yes. I will be doing the Audible.
What they used to call it? Books on tape.
Oh, yeah.
Audio book.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Hopefully we got all these super chats. I saw them.
Oh, hold on. There was another one. Oh, wait. Hello from Denver. You two are amazing. The disconnection is so cruel. Your family of choice is showing them real love. Yes, exactly. This is off topic, but the ACLU and the EFF gave filed amicus briefs for the Mormon Stories podcast lawsuit. Yay. Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Trevanon.
Here, let me put up this one. Chelsea Rama says, also, for the record, you always say you've lost your English accent, but you haven't all the way. It sneaks in there with certain words. I know, believe me, Mark has a family running note of the words that I say incorrectly. And not only that, now all my kids tease me about it as well. So yes, I know there are certain things that I say incorrectly. Yes, you do.
We don't tease you. We just say the words that you say how you say them. That's not teasing.
AKA shoving it in my face.
The best one is insulation. Insulation. Instead of insulation, it's insulation. Aluminium.
I say aluminum. See?
Oh, we got another one.
Wow. Thank you, Reprise.
Appreciate
it. Appreciate it.
Thank you. That's
all.
very generous.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
You want to show me these things here? Let's see if
well, let's do the giveaway first and then go through our end slides.
I already put up the thing.
Okay. We have a few end slides for you. So that way, if you're new here and you may have missed the memo, we can just point you to certain things. First of all, at our YouTube store, you can get a copy of Mark's book signed by both Mark and I in paperback or hardback edition.
Oh, don't we have literally 20 paperbacks left? One
40.
box. 40. We have, that's
40,
it. And they're gone.
Books, yes, of the paperback. And we have a little more of the hardback.
Yeah.
But yeah, so while supplies last. Subscribe to Claire's Substack. This is where I'm posting all the news about my book and so on and so forth at Claire Headley 101. And also just I post things there about things that I've been discovering through the course of editing my book. I'm not posting parts of the book there, but just pieces I've learned because I've learned some mind-blowing revelations.
I learned a mind-blowing revelation in that call with the person that called me too.
Yes.
So yeah, we find out things years and years later.
Yes. The SP shop, we have merch, Davy dolls, stickers, and more. All proceeds from the SP shop, which is funded by Blown for Good, but all proceeds benefit the Michael J. Rinder Aftermath Foundation. So this is something, anyway, we have Leah Remini bobbleheads there, Mike Rinder bobbleheads, SP bracelets, and our favorite Davy doll and shirts and so on and so forth.
You guys got to pick one of these up there. If you've got an animal, a cat or a dog, these are a great dog toy. They
are. We get pics on a weekly basis of animals having their way with Davy. It's hilarious. HowdyCon 2026, September 18th to the 20th, New London, Connecticut. There'll be a bunch of us there. Phil and I will be doing a panel discussing the work that the Aftermath Foundation does. I will be doing a speech, and it will just be an all-around great time.
And this is put on by Tony Ortega from the Underground Bunker.
Yes, but the event proceeds from that event will also benefit the Aftermath Foundation.
Nice.
Yes, so really, really great. And we have coming up in March of 2027, actually St. Patrick's Day, our next Comedy for a Cause event. Again, proceeds benefit the Aftermath Foundation. So if you're here in the Colorado area and can make it to South Denver, so it's Comedy Works South, we'll be posting tickets as soon as they go live and sharing more details about this event.
Nice.
For anyone not aware who's in the chat, the Aftermath Foundation runs a program which is a support group for ex-Scientologists. It is facilitated by Dr. Rachel Bernstein, fully remote. There's 2 different time slots to accommodate, different time zones. So there's a morning one and an evening one, but it meets every week, alternating times. Here's one of the testimonies that somebody gave us, which all testimonials that the foundation receives are kept anonymous for good reason. But this person said, being part of this group has been deeply healing. Each meeting reminds me that I'm not alone and that cult recovery emotionally, spiritually, and mentally is possible. It's given me a sense of community, strength, and hope that continues to ripple into other areas of my life. To learn more, send an email to contact@theaftermathfoundation.org.
Nice. And I think we're shaping up. I mean, I think last year shaped up to be our best, one of our best years ever in terms of donations and in terms of programs and the billboards and all the different programs that are happening and also assisting people leaving and kind of getting their life back together after they've left.
Yes,
so,
it's very encouraging to see that word is getting out. And the billboards, with the billboards, we set up a 24/7 crisis line. So we have learned a lot in setting up those programs and kind of working through things. But it's great to see the word still getting out.
Yeah, one of the things that we used to do when we first got out was we tried to connect up with as many people that had left as possible, not only just to talk to them and reconnect, but also see how they were doing and if they needed any help. And so we were sort of doing parts of what the Aftermath does now. We were just doing that, just you and I.
Yeah.
And so it's great that now there's a whole organization and there's people assigned to do certain functions, and we don't have to do every single thing that the foundation does. There's a whole group of people that are all working on this, and it's
Phil, Catherine. We have an amazing team of people that's just been continuing to grow, and of course with the additional, like the support group for former Scientologists, the education grant. There are programs that we've built that are continuing to expand and help people, and it's awesome.
Nice. Okay, can we do the giveaway now?
Yes, we can do the giveaway.
Let's see if this works. Oh, it worked perfect.
All right.
Okay, how many does it say that it's people?
84.
Okay, so 84 unique people have commented. If you've made any comment during the course of this video, you automatically are entered into win.
Yes.
So if you are at
multiple comments, unfortunately, does not increase your percentage chance of winning.
I've commented once and won.
As have I. I love it when Trevanon and others say, any comment.
Yeah, comment. Okay, here we go. Is there anybody doing that right now?
Yes, we just got 2.
All righty, here we go. I'm hitting the button.
Oh, Matt Denny in the house. Any comment for no reason.
Here we go.
I love it. That's awesome.
And they're off.
Okay. Boom.
Draw. Poof.
Oh, yeah, that is perfect.
Right?
I love the positioning of that.
Yeah. See, I was in there.
Yep.
One comment. SPTV Junkie.
All right. Congratulations.
There you go.
Send me an email, claire@blownforgood.com, with your address, and you will be the proud recipient of a Damn It Davy doll.
Damn it, Davy. This guy right here.
Yes.
Chew toy extraordinaire. What did they say in the UK when Alex Barnes-Ross?
They alleged that this causes alarm and distress.
Oh, alarm and distress.
And we're like, whatever happened to keeping your TRs in?
I was watching a whole video about kind of trademarks and stuff like that. And would it be so amazingly entertaining if Dave Miscavige said, hey, you can't make a doll of me? Meaning this doll it doesn't even resemble him in any way whatsoever. But
right.
we know. The elf child.
They're the ones that alleged the resemblance, not us.
Right. I mean, I made it.
I mean, David is a very common name.
Yeah. David. Well, no. Oh, yeah, you're right. His name is Fake Navy Davy.
Yep.
Captain Chucklesworth.
Damn it, Davy.
Damn it, Davy.
Yep.
Whatever you want to call him.
We made it to the very end.
We did.
Yep.
Any other things before we wrap up here?
I think that covers it.
We did it all, babe. We did it all.
Made it to the very end.
Skadoosh. Boom. We've got to. We do also have some of that new Xenu and the Homeboys merch, right?
Yes.
Is it on the site now?
Yes.
So if you want to get yourself a Xenu this little guy back here. Where is he? Right there. Xenu and the Homeboys.
Yeah.
Is that what they call it? No, Xenu and the Body Thetans.
Yeah.
Xenu and the Homeboys. No, we still have the Xenu
That
is
sounds
my
like
homeboy.
that sounds like the so that might have to be the 20s band where they broke up. Xeno and the Body Thetans broke up, and then they reformed and relaunched as Xeno and the Homeboys.
You know,
Xeno and his Homeboys.
One of my sons says you have to take out. You can't say homeboy anymore.
Why?
It's homie.
Oh, Xeno and his homies.
Yeah, Xenu and his homies. They said you got to change that to homies, and I was
It's
like,
impossible to keep up with
really?
updated urban language trends,
There's
but
at least
whatever.
6 or 7 different nonsense things.
We already learned a whole cult language. Now we're supposed to learn multiple iterations of the English language. That feels unfair.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. We appreciate all the people that watch. There's a thing at the end that'll say like and subscribe and all that good stuff, but it really does. I know every channel, I watch a lot of YouTube, and every channel is like and subscribe, and we're not getting into that smashing the like button and all that. You can just touch it normally. You can just
you can even just touch it gently if you'd like.
You can gently click it. It'll work just the same as people smashing the like button or smashing that subscribe button. But if you do like and subscribe and click the bell notification, then when we post something that we're going to go live, you'll usually be notified. And also when a video, like usually, there's so many different schools of thought on this, but usually if we're going to do a video on Sunday, we'll post it on Friday or Saturday that we're going to do a video on Sunday. And some people tell me you got to announce it earlier. Some people say, no, you got to announce it later. So I don't know, but if you have the bell notification on, you'll get notified, and then you'll know we're doing a video on Sunday.
Reprise says, no rock slamming the like button.
Yeah, just rock slam that. Check the shit out of that like button. Interrogate that subscribe button. Mm-hmm. I watch a construction channel, and that's how they weave it in. They go, so get your level and check out how level that subscribe button's going to be. Or, they mix in some kind of construction terminology into hitting the like button.
Nice.
Poke that like button. The like button has
crimes.
The like button has crimes. Just beat the hell out of it. Crimes. There you
Professor
go.
Clarkon says, set notifications to all. The default notifications, custom, doesn't seem to do squat. Good to know. There you go. See? So we get asked when we do these lives, when we do go live, and we try to go every week as our work schedule allows. It's every Sunday.
Yeah, and if we don't go live, we usually try to put out a pre-recorded video for that week.
We do.
Of interviews that we've done. And
yes.
We sort of kind of bank those. Claire ends up talking to somebody, and then we'll just make that on standby for a week we're not going to be here.
Yep. So. But we will be here next week. So do all that and show up, please.
I don't know if you should smooch it.
That
if you have a
computer,
with a touchscreen, you could do that. But I wouldn't kiss your phone. Your phone is one of the dirtiest things that exists in life. Anyway, I think we're good, babe. We did it.
We made it.
Okay, guys. Thank you very much. Until next time.
Bye-bye. We say bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to help support the channel, feel free to check out the merch store link in the description. We have Hail Xenu, Xenu is my homeboy, and BFG branded mouse pads, shirts, mugs, all sorts of other stuff in there that helps us to bring you new content on a regular basis. You can also pick up a copy of my book, Blown for Good, Behind the Iron Curtain of Scientology, in hardback, Kindle, and Audible versions as well. There's also a link to our podcast, and you can get that on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you'd like to watch another video, you can click on this link right here, or you can click on this one here, or you can click on the subscribe button right here. Thanks a lot. Until next time.